What's going on, Charles Botenston? So today's going to be a quick video, and essentially you just wanted to go live because it's been a while. However, there were a couple things that I wanted to discuss, and that's essentially when you listen to someone say like Gary Vaynerchuk, and a lot of people say, or actually he says it, and then someone else recently said that when they give information, they have no qualms about giving all the information because no one's going to do anything. And to be honest, in my opinion, I sort of agree, but maybe I'm just thinking from my perspective is that when I hear something, I implement it. I implement the system, I implement the calls, if it's a script, if it's some kind of knowledge when it comes to health or relationships or business, or it doesn't really matter. And I started thinking about it, I'm like, maybe they're right. And this is something that you guys have to think about going through life. And this is, I started doing this about 5 years ago, especially when I started getting higher and higher end clients and saying, okay, what kind of life are they living? What kind of life are they living? What kind of life are they living? So I'll give you the story. I'm out in Montauk probably about 4 years ago. Montauk is this fishing town on Long Island. And Sandy, which was a hurricane that kind of wiped out New York for a little bit. So it wiped out the Hamptons. So the summer came, Hurricane Sandy came, wiped out some things, a bunch of towns and whatever in the Hamptons. So all those people that were in the Hamptons were like, shit, where am I going to go? So they ended up going to Montauk. Now Montauk became this like really hip, cool spot. It's always been that way, but it's a totally different vibe than the Hamptons. The Hamptons is like this highfalutin, like I go to West Hampton, I go to East Hampton, da 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 da. But Montauk is like laid back and whatever. So I'm out there, and what I noticed, I was talking with these guys, and they have these really beautiful boats. And I don't know anything about boats. I don't know the price. I don't know the maintenance. I don't know anything about it. I don't know, whatever. So I'm talking with these guys, and I said, oh, how is it since all these people started flooding Montauk since Sandy? All the people that were in the Hamptons are now coming to Montauk. He goes, you know what? I really don't like it. I'm like, really? So we started getting to know each other, and the boats were nice, but they weren't over the top. If you saw it, you're like, oh, okay, it's a nice boat, but you didn't say that that was a crazy boat. And then I started talking with my friend who brought me there, and he goes, oh, by the way, you know, these guys, all of them you're talking to are high-end attorneys. They're doing really well. And I'm thinking, what do you, like, really? I'm like, the boats don't look that nice? He goes, those boats are $250,000 each. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, and it's about $60,000 to $70,000 a year just for maintenance, even without gasoline. And I was like, holy cow. He's talking about docking fees. Then you have people that are staffing it and looking after it and cleaning it and blah, blah, blah. And like whatever else you do, you refuel it, you put it away for the winter. And I'm thinking, I'm like, holy shit, that these guys, so that's when I made the decision. I said, you know, that was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know when Sandy was, but I think it was right around there. And I started thinking about it. I said, those are the types of guys I want to be like. And then I started thinking, wow, I should do that with everyone I meet. You know, instead of just looking at them and saying, just blindly, just following the advice, say, okay, what about this person? Like, what are they doing? And I started thinking even further is that, what about my clients? I'm like, what about my clients? You know, I like this person's relationship that he has with his wife. I like this person and how much money they're making. I like this person because they're cool, fun, and they're doing well. I like this person. So I started joining this together. The opposite is true. So there's a lot of people on this floor that they're older, they're in their 50s, they're in their 60s. God bless their heart. I don't know anything about it, but I know that if I was in my 50s or 60s, I would want my business to be blowing up. I want it to be just on fire. I want to be speaking every week. I want to be making a ton of dough. And that is also the knowledge that I take. I say, okay, what time do they get into work? Maybe that's why they're not that successful. What time do they leave work? Maybe that's why they're not successful. Are they on the phone? Are they actually making sales calls? What are they doing? Are they in shape? Are they out of shape? Are they bitching? Are they smiling? You know, what's their demeanor? And you start getting pieces from all these people, because people say, oh, because they're older. Yeah, they're older, and what they say, they've filtered through decades of bullshit, of trying it, of just new realities. And then you take it and you say, I don't know if I agree or I disagree. You know, there's this guy, we were just talking, and he essentially is just, the reason I read, and the reason that you should be talking to older people and younger people and other people in general, is that you want to take something from everyone, whether it's good or bad. You want to say, I don't want to be that person, because Here's another example. I have a friend that he got married, I think prematurely. He had children, and he's just really not that happy. He's just not a happy guy. We went out to dinner, and I was like, oh, how's it going with blah, blah, blah. I don't want to say his wife's name. And he goes, it's all right. I was like, whoa, what about the kids? You know, they're growing up. And he goes, you know, they're really good and everything else. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, if I had a 1 and a 3-year-old, I would want to be, I'm going to be tired. It's not going to be glorious and everything, but usually people, and my family's massive. I've been through and around a lot of kids. I've like 4 teen cousins that are under 7 years old that we see every single Easter, Christmas, birthday, Thanksgiving, and things like that. And are they perfect? No, but every time I say, oh, how are the kids? They're like, oh, they just started soccer practice and you should have seen it. They tripped over the ball, and it's a funny little interaction. So when you go into an interaction, always leave with something, okay? Always leave with something. That's the biggest thing, okay? Young, old, your level or not your level, okay? I'll also say this, is that there's a lot of things that someone, even me, that you guys say here, whether it's me, Gary, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, whoever else, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, anyone else that you listen to or you read about. And, by the way, and this is just a side note, and I'll come back, is that and I'll get to some of the questions that might be coming through, is when you talk to someone and you understand their underlying why, that's their motivation, whether they get fame or they get money or they tell you what you want to hear or you don't want to hear. Perfect example, I'm talking with my friend, and he's talking about the truth. And he goes, I want to get to the truth. And I'm like, what do you mean the truth? He goes, well, I grew up and I had a stern household and they said you had to do this. And he needed to be a doctor, okay? This is what you need to do. You know, my mom said to marry the woman that she wants me to marry, I got to be a doctor. My dad worked his ass off. I barely saw the guy, but he instilled in me hard work, and she instilled me what profession. So he's not doing that. But his parents said, we're not going to support the decision you make because you're not going down the path that we want you to go down. They're very just like that, linear thinkers. And he's more of no box, no thinking kind of box, which is where you need to go. That is where you need to go, is just find out the truth about things, because you have instilled and downloaded things from the internet, social media, schooling, especially textbooks, you know, teachers, mentors, your parents, religion, things like that. And you take some things like religion, it's good for morality and ethics. From your schooling, it's good that you need to be disciplined and study. And from your parents, maybe it's also be kind and whatever, okay? It's good to take a little bit of things, but also get to the truth to yourself, which is more important. Get to the truth of yourself. What do you like? What do you dislike? You know, I'm reading this book right now called Essentialism. Highly recommended. I actually took a picture on my Instagram stories this morning, and it's amazing. And they're actually talking about, it's not about cutting things out of your life. It's about focusing on the things that you want to focus on. A lot of people think, if I don't go to that party, or if I don't do sports, or if I don't study, or if I don't do something, that I'm missing out on it. Okay, it's really coming down to, what are the core beliefs? What's the direction? What is the mission? What is your legacy going to be? And for me, this book speaks to me because I want to do it all. You know, and it's funny because I'm thinking of my 2018 is the year that I really want to get out there and start speaking and, you know, recording that and moving into the speaking career. And essentially, the one theme that I wanted to have throughout is that you can have it all. And this book is actually the complete opposite, where it says you can have it all, okay? And you need to choose. And then I started thinking into it, and I said, wow, actually, they're right. Because I've been really sacrificing my relationships. You know, I haven't gone out on as many dates. You know, there's a couple girls that they've said, you know, what's going on? You know, are you, not even just dating wise, they're like, okay, we exchange numbers, we see each other at the gym, are you gonna take us out? Or are you gonna, and I'm thinking in my mind, I know if I go out, and we have, say, a glass of wine or 2 glasses of wine, I come home at 9:30, then I don't sleep as well, I might wake up tired, that's going to affect my work, and if it affects the work, then the agents see me being affected by my work. So then I started thinking, I'm like, you know what my priority right now is? Health in the morning, work during the day, and getting good night's sleep. That's my priority. Those are my 3 things. And the author started going down a list, and he said, if you have 5 top priorities, you're never going to get to them all. Okay, you know, as what's his name said in Managing Oneself, Peter Drucker, He said, listen, if you actually focus on the things that you need to focus on, then you'll get what you want, okay? And he was religious with saying no to things. Him and actually a bunch of guys were saying, I would not want to be asking them. And for me, I've been asking a lot of people out to go to lunch, maybe have them on influencer interviews. I just want to actually plug in as well and see if you guys have any questions. So essentially, go around, understand, but also implement, okay? For Gary to actually say that, it's just not something that I really jive with, okay? I want someone that actually does the little things, and it's not a hockey stick. It's just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. That's it. That's it. That's all you need to do. Just a little bit better every single day. And you're going to hit plateaus, and then you're going to go up a little bit. You're going to go back. And the reason I tell you this is because it's going to get harder and harder and harder to do because there's more things that are grabbing your attention. Right now, if you're watching this, what's going on, guys? Yes, Adam, those are the books. Essentially, right now I have your attention. And that's all. People spend billions and billions, probably trillions of dollars over years to get your attention, whether that's a banner ad, whether that's a movie, that's a disruption. I just saw Jurassic Park. The amount of money, I don't even know how much money they spent on that, but it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the budgets. So they started saying, the trailer's coming out this day, and then they started bringing on influencers. So they're all trying to grab your attention to all then get your money, okay? So for you guys to actually understand that your attention is literally the resource that you have not only the most control over, but you need to take control of your attention. You cannot live life and you cannot leave a legacy unless you take physical control of your body and your mind. And that is the direction that you need to go. You need to focus on, okay, what is my number one thing? What is my number two thing? The easy thing is to pick up this device. I started deleting apps. I started, like, my front screen is literally, there we go, I just gotta turn it on, hold on. My front screen is literally, well, I don't know if you could see it, but my front screen is, this is it. And I have some, you can't really focus on it. I have a folder right here. That's one folder, you can't really see it. And then here's my other folder. Okay, you can't really see it. I have two folders. And that's it. There's no other pages. There's notifications, and then that's it. There's no page. That's all I have. And the reason being is that I've seen people with folder upon folder. I've seen people with app on app. Dude, ma'am, that's your attention. That app has your attention. Then when you're bored, I'll give you this, and then I'll hop out if you guys have any questions. 11 people, that's like the record right now. I guess Friday, everyone's bored. Let's go check in, see what Charles is doing here in New York City. I got to hop to an appointment literally right now. So I'll leave you with this: it was Ray Kurzweil and Peter Diamandis. Peter Diamandis he wrote Bold and a couple other books, very good books. And they're very good books. You know what? I'll actually take that back. Is that his podcast is even better? Look him up, Peter Diamandis. Okay, look him up. And he was having it with Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil has been trying to live forever. And they're actually saying that there's a point, it's known as singularity, where the technology for health is getting so good where they could literally remove something, put something in, or they could do a blood transfusion, or they could take cells of a younger person and infuse them. They already do this in Mexico. It's not legal in the United States. And essentially, singularity is the technology is moving at the rate that you're aging, okay? So right now, it's like this. You age and you just die, okay? So they have up to 700 years old, and they were talking on their latest podcast. It was about an hour and a half. I'm only 30 minutes in, and it will blow your fucking mind on what they're thinking of. So Peter Diamandis he brings up attention, and he says the reason that he wants to live as long as he can, what's your why on going to the gym, exercising, and sleeping? Those are the three priorities. Eating well, And it's an 80% of the time. Listen, there's going to be times that you don't get good sleep, or 20% of the time that you don't go to the gym, or 20% of the time that you don't eat healthy and you have a cookie or sugar or whatever. That's not a big deal. Do 80-20 is everything, okay? 70-30, okay? Even if you do 50-50, something, just work with me. Because he said that is his why. He literally wants to live to 700. 700. Do you understand 700 years from now, like what shit is going to be like? So he said something that was very interesting, and you know, people think as entertainment. I look at it as value. I look at it as, wow, okay, what are we going to learn from this? And he said, do you remember when you were bored? Ray Kurzweil was like, wow, that's an interesting. When was the last time you literally remembered you were bored? He goes, when he walks through the airport, everyone is entertained. There's nothing bad about that. It's just, where are you putting your attention? Is it on music, or is it on education? Is it on reading bad news, you know, the Crisis News Network or Fox or something? Or are you actually going through a podcast and listening to someone? Or are you reading an audiobook? Highly recommend audiobooks and podcasts. They're really good. So he started going into that. He said, I don't remember the last time I actually was bored. Actually was bored. Not after like getting into a fucking elevator and going down to the first floor. I mean actually bored. 30 minutes of boredom. You just wait and you have nothing. Your phone is dead. You have no education. And you just literally just have to look around. When was the last time you can actually do that and sit there and then appreciate? That's how you control your attention, because you can literally not be controlled by short term, which is this, but you control your attention by the long term, okay? So I'll see if there's any questions here. What's going on, Chris L? How's it going? I think that's London. Munim Jamal, I think I'm saying that right. Hopefully I am. How's it going? Adam, yes, that's the Essentialism. Keep up the great work. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Chris, can I offer a suggestion if you're going to do speaking engagements or even certain videos? Yeah, of course. I'm always open to it. Listen, I'll tell you right now. There's, what's his name? Ray Dalio was on Ask Gary V show. Ray Dalio recently wrote Principles. Tim Ferriss called up to the show. So you had Tim Ferriss, Gary Vaynerchuk, and Ray Dalio. Yeah, I would say that's a home run of people. So Ray Dalio is talking about the principles that people cannot actually accept friendly criticism. And that's what he built his entire culture around, was friendly criticism. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, when was the last time someone gave me feedback? Someone gave me feedback on my interview with Serena Tom. Someone gave me feedback yesterday at the gym in regards to the way that I'm just hopping around talking to people. They're like, yeah, we're actually here to work out. I get constructive feedback all the time. The thing is your ego in the way? So I'm always open to it. But then you filter it through your own mind and say, okay, where is this coming from? Of course I'm open to it. I think you have a phenomenal amount of wisdom, but sometimes it's not the most organized. For live streams, it's awesome to hear rants, but for speaking, and 100%, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, organize and stay on topic. Literally, the reason I actually do live streams is because I'm extremely lazy on Fridays and I don't want to download it and then put it up, okay? So yes, organized. Highly recommend, and thank you very much. Do you have any tips on how to present an idea to a company? Number one is have 3 words on a slide, and this is, by the way, from Kiyosaki. 3 words on a slide. Have the background as black, have the text as white, have no more than 20 minutes in the presentation, and have no more than 10 slides. You, in other words, do exactly what Chris was talking about, which is don't be unorganized, don't be disorganized. You know, I know that. You know, on these rants, I am 100% disorganized, and I'm 100% ranting the entire time. So that was actually one thing I've been thinking about, is making those short videos. And I know you guys will be like, yeah, we want those 3 to 4 minutes instead of you just fucking talking out of your ass, which I normally just do anyway. Do you have any, but those are the areas I feel needs to improve. Yeah, absolutely. And it's always 1% better. There's going to be something once I present. Here's an idea. Vlogs. I started listening in on storytelling because my vlogs aren't really telling a story. They're just that day. So I'm now going to insert a little drama in the beginning of the vlog. So then it's like drama within the first 3 seconds. It's like a preview of drama. You know who does this is Logan Paul. And then the rest of the vlog just goes through. So I appreciate it. I got to hop out. I'm already late. And if you guys have any further questions, the next ones will definitely be a little bit more organized. I've been thinking about that for a while, so I do really appreciate, Chris, that. And presenting to a company, you have to know everything, but you have to ask questions. It's nearly impossible. I think that's an actual video in of itself, because I have one of my biggest pitches on Monday. I'm pitching for a $10.95 million townhouse. And the person also has a $15 million townhouse. So if I get those, that's almost $700,000 worth of commissions. Okay, that's pretty important. Yeah, I would say so. So this entire weekend, I'm thinking, how am I going to present and I'm going against the top brokers, by the way. So how am I going to present a story and handling her objections? So number one is you have to look at their needs and you have to understand what their needs are. They'll say, I don't want to hire a broker. Okay, well, this is why you should hire a broker. No, that's not what you say. You say, why don't you want to hire a broker? And then you keep on going to the core reason. Their core reason because they don't see the value. They had a bad experience before. I'm not worth the commission. They could do it on their own. There's so many. I have a friend that's also in real estate. There's so many objections that come through. All right? I don't see the marketing. I don't see the difference between you, and you. Okay? So you have to understand what their needs and wants are before you can actually pitch it. Highly recommend the book Contagious. Contagious is really good, and I think there's another book that I just read that was phenomenal. So have an awesome day. I gotta hop out. I'm already late, and I will talk to you guys soon.